Hello, Internet. This is BoneCarlos coming to you live from, I believe, Cloud Kingdom. If not, bash me down below in the comments, and I'll do whatever I can to feel the pain, the hurt, and so on and so forth. The combatants today are going to be SSÏov, spawning as a blue Terran over in the south side of the map. There it is, blue Terran, SS. His opponent is going to be GeneralXk. I'm going to go ahead and call him General from here on out. He's spawning as the red version of the same player as SSÏov. I do believe this is a platinum level game, quote unquote. Both players are platinum, says so on the letter, but I do think that General is a higher level player. Since he is playing on a different account. So not to him, not to him, not to him. Oov is doing an interesting thing, putting down a supply depot back here in case there is some sort of Zergling run by, but no, not really. Not going to be any Zerg run bys in this game since both players are Terran. Ta-da! General is going to go ahead and put his supply depot at the top of his ramp to prevent anything, just to prevent himself some kind of vision. And I actually started doing this, and I am a Protoss level player up against even another Protoss. I like to put my pylon down in this area close to the ramp, so that way I could spot any kind of sneaky shenanigans going on, like an extra probe running back here or forth, and then start building my buildings this way, just to counteract any kind of crazy shenanigans that you sometimes see at the lower level players like Platinum, which is where I am at. Both players are pretty much starting their barracks at nearly the identical times, the only difference being placement. It looks like General might have a one-up advantage on his SCV count at the moment. Harvester count is actually equal, but as soon as that next one pops, he will actually have the same, about the same. So both players are nearly identical, no divergences just yet. General's going to go ahead and hang out with his SCV. Oov's ECV is going to go ahead and pass by, give it a high five, say, hey, how you doing? And then continue on his merry way. The barracks just finishing up for both players in a few seconds, and this is where the divergence takes place. What happens, what gets built? An extra a Marine gets queued up almost immediately by Oov, along with that orbital command, and then pretty much the same thing with General. They're pretty much neck and neck in the same build order at the moment. It looks like General's going to go ahead and hide his SCV behind the natural supply line of Oov, while Oov is going to go ahead and lose this SCV, maybe? No, going to go ahead and, looks like General's going to go ahead and let another couple of peeking by this SCV, and it's going to go ahead and let him live, not going to go give chase with that Marine, and both players are putting down a command center at nearly the same time. The difference between General is already putting down his command center already at the natural expansion, so this is going to go ahead and give General about, 15 to 20 seconds that it takes for this orbital command to get over to the natural expansion. So he does have the slight advantage. And another big difference, Oov is taking up double refinery. Both players are just supply blocked. They're at 19 and 19. A supply depot is being put up. But two refineries going down for Oov, while General is still going on to his general mineral heavy style. Income shows the harvester count is basically the same, 17 and 18. Both players are still using their mules, while immediately Oov puts down 3 SCVs per refinery. So hopefully we see some sort of tech play, cloaked banshees, something of that nature. A bunker is being placed down at the front of his natural expansion, while this SCV will not survive this. Marine will catch it. Looks like a little bit of a click, micro, and done. Bunker's gonna finish up in a few seconds, while General isn't putting down anything else. He's putting down a couple of more barracks, incidentally, so he's just now bringing up his refinery, so maybe some mass Marine play just pushes forward and wipes Oov off the map. But I'm interested to see what Oov does with his refinery and what his gas. So far he only has 50 saved up, or put down 100 for that factory. So if he does decide to go cloak banshees, we're going to see it in a couple of seconds, especially to see what tech structure he puts down on this factory. He might put down a tech lab, might put down a reactor, and normally that's flip-flopped. Or he could put down, hopefully he puts down tech and goes siege tanks. I haven't seen that much in TVT. All around, like very little tank play by Terrans when they're going up against another Terran. Hopefully I see that. Maybe some cheeky drops, cheeky shenanigans, that sort of thing, zoning your opponent in, walling them in, that sort of play. Both players already have their orbital commands in wherever they want them to. They already have their national expansion secured. No scouting aside from the initial SCVs, and no scans just yet. All of that energy is being put down on mules, powering up that economy, churning out those Marines if you are in General's case. and his 2 barracks are already up and running. No add-ons just yet. There's a tech lab on the first barrack that he constructed, already researching Stimpack, and he's putting down a factory and an engineering base. So he looks like he's leaning towards a basic MMM ball, while Cloak play, or actually reactored Hellions with the starport. So gonna see some roasting action, and another factory already being built by SSؐOov. So maybe some drops. The tech lab being switched over on that factory. So Blue Flame Hellions, I would think, with some droppage. So I expect to see some sort of drops with Blue Flame Hellions in the back. Here roasting these SCVs, burning up that hunk of metal, and just hanging out and being groovy. I expect to see that to happen, especially with that starport being built. Since if he was just going straight pure Blue Flame Hellion, he wouldn't put that in that starport. He wouldn't try to research anything else, since he doesn't have that marine count to support it. That's just my line of thinking. That's platinum level play right there, and hopefully it pays off. Come on, Oov, make me feel like a genius. General is going to head to position his Marines actually at a very nice angle. Generally, when you do a drop, your opponents kind of abuse this area, which is why these supply depots are here, just for incoming, for spotting it. And he's actually moving a small squad of Marines up to the northern area just to spot, to see if there are any drops incoming. And this is about the time when you expect the player that has had the time to be able to do this during a fast expansion. And I don't even think General knows it's a fast expansion. And SCV is going to go ahead and push forward, reveal a bunch of Marines, and that is quite a few squads, but they are a little bit disorganized. You have Marines here. Come on, General, be a better General. See what I did there? And take control of your Marines. Discipline is the name of the game. Refinery is putting the 4th and final refinery is being taken by General, and he actually has both of the Zelnaga towers. He's going to go ahead and continue with this squad in a tight formation. I like that. Look at that, 2x2. They're going off to battle. Blue Flame is almost done. A couple of more seconds on that. Tigger's going to go ahead and finish that up. Well, I don't think anything else has been built out of that starport, so nothing just yet. It does have that reactor, so I'm not sure exactly what Oov is waiting for. More than likely just some minerals to start building on what he needs to do. And look at General spread out his Marines, making sure he is not caught off guard by anything. Way to go, General. Look at that vision that he has compared to Oov's. Oov has no idea what is going on. He doesn't even know that the expansion is on the way, or is done, I should say, while General already has a couple of medevacs to support, just kind of help out these few Marines that are just hanging out. And the way that he's scattering about, I say General has an indication and just an idea that maybe Blue Flame Hellions are coming with that drop. Maybe he knows that that's what the build was going to happen, since he's spreading out his Marines along the just the outskirts of the map to make sure nothing gets by him. 1, 2, 3, 4 factories with a lot of Hellions, and Vikings are being churned out as well. So Vikings to take out the medevacs. Looks like we see some siege tanks and Hellions to take out the Marines. So Oov pretty much has a nice counter to General. The food count is generally around the same, 102, 109, pun unintended, while General takes up his 3rd command center and the 4th as well. So very interesting play. He has a double engineering bay, double ups. Armory is almost done. I'm going to go ahead and continue on to that 2nd tier of upgrades for General, while Oov is just hanging out with his mass tanks, mass Hellions, and going to go ahead and float a barracks on by. So that just tells me that he no longer needs any more barracks. He doesn't need to build any more factories. This is his game plan. This is what he plans to do with it. He has a couple of tech labs on these factories, and a lot of reactors there as well. A drop does occur. Looks like Marines are going to go ahead and start nibbling away at this supply depot. One supply depot does go down effectively. Supply canceling, supply blocking Oov, but the Blue Flames are there. But the medevac is just immediately going to go ahead and pick up and go home. One blast did fry these Marines quite a bit, but they're just going to go ahead and drop out, and the healing has commenced. There you go. How about some triage? Oov is a little bit frightened. He's going to go ahead and take off and head on home to the front of the map and leave a single Hellion there. While he moves out with massive amounts of Hellions. Too bad this Marine is there to spot it. And how many Hellions there are? Exactly 25 Hellions on the map. So way to go to turn out that Hellion production. While General, he has 47 Marines, so they will be roasted quite effectively, since General knows exactly where the attack is coming from with that Zelnaga vision. He's going to go ahead and place himself exactly where he needs to be. He's going to go ahead and, looks like he has siege mode on his siege tank already, but the same can be said for Oov. General's going to go ahead and push forward, and he roasted nearly immediately. All of these Marines were taken out quite effectively, while the siege tank sieged up too little, too late. It looks like the Blue Flame Hellion is going to try to push forward into that tank, but a single siege tank is not enough damage to bring down all of Oov's forces. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and swing around. That mobility of those quick, effective Hellions you're going to go ahead and take out, are going to go ahead and push forward to the natural expansion. A scan does reveal exactly what's going on. Oov's going to push forward, roast these Marines. The siege tanks are going to go ahead and rip apart these Marauders, and looks like General needs to is forced to pull off all these SCVs. A couple of blasts from the siege tank nearly decimates a lot of these SCVs, but General just pushes forward and surrounds the siege tank to keep him out of the vision, and all the siege tanks are down. Looking at the units lost tab, 75 for General, 4,300 resources, 52 for Oov, 5,300 for the resources lost counter is his losses, and workers killed 14 to 18. So at the same time, there was a drop in the main of Oov, so a nice little bit of a counter attackage by General on Oov, and now it looks like the superior force of Oov has pretty much been dwindled. The medevacs are on move. They're going to go ahead and fly by, gave exactly the vision that they need, since there isn't anything that could shoot up. Oov is supposed to shoot after that small skirmish, and most of the units are out of position, and General gives chase. Finally, a fresh stream of Blue Flame Hellions going to go ahead and try to surround and pick off these Marauders, but they have plenty of shielding. Oov actually brings forward a couple of SCVs along with that attack. Not sure exactly why he hotkeyed them there, maybe just to take some sort of damage, but it looks like they're there for repair. Haha, duh. Terrans can repair themselves, SCVs can't do that. Single siege tank is still there, but Oov does not care. He's going to go ahead and push forward, start roasting away, but this siege tank is doing massive amounts of damage to the armor of these Hellions. It looks like General's army is finally there, drops on top of it, and Oov is repelled. Oov knows this. GG's, game over. That is it. So interesting play by Oov. He just didn't have the oomph to be able to hold off, and I do believe General is in Diamond while Oov is in Platinum. So there is that to that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Also, if there's a replay you would like for me to cast of your own playing, I'll upload it to one of the major replay sites. Leave a link and I'll do my best to take care of it. Other than that, I am out of here.